Hello all, welcome to Homeschool, and we are with the chapter How do organisms reproduce. Under that, we are with the topic human reproduction, isn't it? In our previous video, we have already discussed the male reproductive system and female reproductive system in detail. And today, let us learn about the fertilization and the answer for the question, what happens when egg is fertilized? So after the fertilization occurs, what happens for that fertilized egg? Where will it travel and how will it develop into a baby? All these things we will discuss in today's class. Clear? First and foremost, let us see how the fertilization occurs. Okay. So the very first point that I would like to write here is during mating. Okay, mating in the sense what? Intercourse, sexual intercourse. Okay, so that means when penis is inserted into vagina, what happens? The sperms will travel. Okay, it will travel through uterus and there they will reach to the fallopian tube. Okay, see, the sperms will travel in this way all along to fallopian tube, and here the egg is there. One of the egg from ovary has gone to the fallopian tube, and this guy is actually waiting for the sperm. The sperm comes and both of them will fuse. This is what? The fertilization, isn't it? So how this happens? Like whenever a mating occurs, and that time sperms enter into vagina and travel to fallopian tube. Okay, so in the fallopian tube or in the oviduct, fusion of egg and sperm takes place. Fusion of egg and sperm takes place, and this process is called fertilization. Yes or no? Many times we discussed this word, very important. This fusion itself we will call fertilization. Okay, and next point is fertilization results in the formation of zygote. Okay, and now where will that zygote go? Here the zygote is formed, and finally that zygote will move to the uterus. Okay, so zygote moves to uterus. Okay, so inside the uterus, the zygote develops into embryo. Clear, everybody? Zygote is moving to the uterus, that is the bag-like structure, and later zygote develops into embryo. Okay, multicellular structure called embryo. Later, embryo develops into fetus. That is a small baby inside a womb. Clear? And there are many things actually happen in that uterus, which we call it as womb later. Clear? And one main important thing is placenta formation takes place in the uterus. So what do you mean by placenta, guys? It's very important. The fetus actually gets nutrition. Yes, it's a living thing. Entirely a new life is getting formed in the uterus. So that needs lot of nutrition for its development, right? And it need to breathe. Even it's a living thing. It has to breathe. It has to take oxygen. And whatever the waste material that is created in the fetus should go out. All these things will happen with the help of a tissue called placenta. Okay, so what I'll write here is fetus gets nutrition from a special tissue called placenta. So placenta formation first should occur in the uterus. And now let us study how that placenta formation occurs and how the nutrition can be transferred or exchange of gases, how it can occur between mother and baby, that is fetus. Clear? Guys, how do you define placenta here? Carefully take the definition of placenta. This is very important. So they would ask you in the exam, what is placenta and what is its importance? Okay, fine. So placenta is a disc or a tissue. It is some tissue, group of cells, okay, that is embedded, that is fixed. Embedded in the sense what, guys? Fixed. That is embedded on the walls of uterus. Embedded on the walls of uterus. Okay, from which, so what is the purpose of this placenta actually? From which fetus gets nutrition from mother. Fetus gets nutrition from mother. Okay, so what actually, okay, this is what about the placenta, the definition of placenta that you can give. And what is the main function of placenta is, nutrition. One thing is, it's already mentioned in the definition, that is fetus gets nutrition. Nutrition in the sense what, guys? It will actually get glucose and all other minerals from mother's blood. Okay, and another important function is exchange of gases. Fetus also needs oxygen to breathe, and it also gives out carbon dioxide, the waste material, isn't it? So exchange of gases also occurs through placenta itself. So just for your idea and for your knowledge, I give a very clear picture about this placenta. Just observe. Imagine this is a womb. See, this is a mother's womb. Okay, so here imagine here there is a baby. So this is our baby. Okay, and what actually happens is, this is a wall of uterus, right? So this is a wall of uterus. The whole thing is uterus, guys, right? And what actually happens is, whenever a zygote that has formed here in the fallopian tube, it will go to the uterus and it will get fixed onto the walls of uterus. Okay, this is what we call implantation actually. Okay, so the zygote moving into the uterus and staying on the walls of uterus. See, the wall of the uterus is thick. Actually, it will become thicker every month. Okay, so every month egg is released into a fallopian tube, right? That means every month actually what the reproductive system expects is the sperm to enter and fertilization to occur. So that's the reason every month you see uterus also gets prepared itself for the fertilization. Okay, because uterus is the one which has to hold the baby. It has to be very much strong. Yes or no? So that's the reason its lining will become thicker and thicker. Clear? So on that lining, if the egg is fertilized, the zygote will come and it sits on the lining. This is what we actually call it as implantation, right? So you can take the definition of implantation. So what do you mean by implantation, guys? Embryo or zygote. You can say that zygote getting implanted on the walls of uterus. On the walls of uterus is called implantation. Okay, fine. So this uterus walls will become thick automatically. So this is the wall of the uterus. Usually it's already become very much thick. Okay, so thicker wall of uterus, right? And actually uterus will have a connection with blood capillaries, guys. Okay, so this is a blood capillary, this is one artery, this is another artery, this is another artery. Okay, so to every part of a body there are arteries and veins, isn't it? You shouldn't forget, to every part of a reproductive system you have a connection with blood capillaries, right? So this is a wall of a uterus, it has become thick, and here the baby is there, the entire thing is a wall of a uterus, and everywhere, you know, here this is one artery, this is one blood artery. Okay, and what actually happens is a kind of cells, you know, let me draw a bigger things. Okay, and a tissue develops here, you know, many cells will develop automatically. This is artery. Okay, let me give a thicker shade. This is one artery, this is another artery, right? So you know, one more layer of cells or tissues are formed in between the arteries. Okay, and here the blood would be there, mother's blood would be there here, a pool of blood. Who is bringing a blood, guys? These arteries. Okay, so arteries are bringing a pure blood which has lots of nutrients. Okay, which has oxygen gas, which has glucose, which has lots of amino acids and lots of many other minerals. Okay, and vitamins are there. So that particular blood is here, right? And there is a small membrane, there is a separation as a membrane here, and from a fetus body a small pipe comes, you know, from this area, abdominal area, you know, we call it as umbilical cord. What is this called? Umbilical cord. Okay, a connection, pipe like structure called umbilical cord. Okay, so that umbilical cord is the main connection, guys. Okay, and you know, it actually divides, it goes on to this membrane, and you know, it is present in the form of villi like this, you know, it is villi would be there. See, this inside this villi there would be arteries and veins of fetus. Okay, so umbilical cord contains arteries and veins. Definitely through these things only, no, blood has to supply to the fetus, and waste material also comes out through the blood only, right? So waste blood will come out through veins and the good blood will pass through arteries. We have already learned this. So the fetal arteries and fetal veins would be there in all these villi. Okay, and you know, they are placed into a pool of mother's blood. The whole mother's blood is there here. So villi is there, and inside a villi you have fetal arteries and fetal veins, you know, and here the absorption occurs, guys. So all the nutrients from the mother's blood goes to the fetal arteries. All the oxygen from the mother's blood will go through this villi, through a fetal artery. Okay, and whatever waste is there, that waste removal also occurs, you know, through the fetal veins. Actually, whatever waste from a fetus is there, everything will come out through villi and it will pass through this pool of blood, and whatever nutrients are there in this blood, everything will pass through this villi only to the fetus. Okay, and this much area, the villi portion, the blood and this tissue, the lining, you know, the whole thing we call it as placenta. Okay, so this much is actually called as placenta. So if you want to talk detailed things about placenta, you know, placenta has a villi. Placenta includes villi towards fetal tissue. Okay, villi is towards fetal tissue. Yes or no? To the fetal side, villi is there. Can you tell me why this villi is there? Villi is there for the maximum absorption of nutrient, guys. See, if only one membrane is there, too much of nutrients cannot able to absorb. See, if you have this finger-like structure, the villi provides larger surface area, more area for the absorption. More and more nutrients can able to absorbed by this finger-like structure. Got to know? So that's why villi-like things are created inside the placenta. Right? So the placenta includes villi towards fetus tissue. And what is the importance of villi, guys? What is the importance of villi? Villi provides maximum absorption of nutrients, okay, and gases. Clear, everybody? So this is how, this much is what we call it as, placenta. And usually whatever the nutrients and gases, whatever absorbed by the villi, it will travel through umbilical cord. Umbilical cord is actually a connection between fetus and placenta of mother. Clear? So where is this placenta present? On the walls of uterus. This much portion is placenta only on the uterus. Okay, so placenta is getting connected to umbilical cord of the fetus, through which everything gets passed. And one more important use of placenta you can write, guys, here. See, I mentioned two uses, no? One is it gets nutrition, other one is exchange of gases takes place through placenta. The other one is waste removal also occurs. Waste removal from whom? Waste removal from fetus. Okay, can also takes place through placenta only. Clear? And whatever carbon dioxide is there, that will come from fetal veins and it will reach to villi. From villi it will go to mother's blood, and from this pool of mother's blood it will go to the veins that are connected here, right? Through the veins it will go off. Clear, everybody? Fine. So this is a detailed picture and idea about the placenta. Anyway, this much detailed picture and idea is not necessary for your level. Your thing is to understand the definition of placenta and the function of placenta. What is the importance of placenta? And try to remember one more point. Placenta has a villi, okay, near the fetal side. So what is the purpose of villi, guys? It provides a maximum absorption of nutrients and gases. Okay, so these are the 3 points. If you can remember, that is more than enough. Clear? And with the help of placenta, the baby gets nutrition and it grows. Okay, it grows bigger and bigger. And for the complete development of a baby takes around 9 months. That 9 months of a time is called as gestation period. Okay, or gestation period. And after complete development, contraction of uterine muscles takes place in the pelvic region or in abdominal region, and finally through the cervix and through the vagina, the complete baby comes out from the mother's body. Okay, so this is how the reproduction of a new organism takes place in humans. See, guys, let us see one important definition here, that is gestation. Gestation. So what do you mean by gestation, guys? It is the time period from fertilization to birth of a child. Okay, is called gestation. Okay, so from the time of fertilization, from the time of fusion of egg and sperm, okay, from that time to the outcome of a baby from vagina, so it is all about 9 months. Okay, it is a period of about 9 months. Okay, so this 9 months we will call it as gestation period, okay, or pregnancy period, right? So this is all about the fertilization, okay, fertilization and the way baby develops after fertilization and gestation. Okay, and now the question is, in case if the sperms do not enter and if the sperms do not meet the egg that is present on a fallopian tube. See, no doubt every month one mature egg is released into the oviduct, I said. Okay, so why does the egg is released? For the reproduction purpose. Like, it actually keeps waiting for the sperm. In case if the sperm doesn't come, you know, what happens to this particular egg? That is what we are going to discuss now. In other words, we call it as menstruation. Okay, so let us now learn about the menstruation. So a question can be asked this way: what happens for an egg if it is not fertilized? If it is not fertilized, fertilized in the sense, what is the meaning, guys? Fertilized in the sense fusion with sperm. Okay, if it is not undergone fusion with egg, with sperm, what will happen for the egg? Okay, or you know, the same answer you can write if they ask about menstruation. Okay, fine. Let us discuss this point now. See, what actually happens is, every month egg is released into a fallopian tube, and every month the wall of the uterus becomes thicker and thicker, guys. Okay, every month this occurs. The wall of the uterus is completely filled with blood vessels and it becomes thicker and thicker because it prepares for the implantation of an embryo. Because after fertilization, the zygote has to move and it should nurture, it should grow in the uterus, right? So every month the uterus prepares itself for taking an embryo or zygote, for developing a zygote. Okay, so that's the reason every month the wall of the uterus becomes thicker and thicker. And it will wait for 1 or 2 days. Okay, so after coming to a fallopian tube, it will wait for 1 or 2 days for the sperms. If the sperms doesn't come and reach, what happens? This goes to the uterus, there it will die, the egg will die. We call it as degenerates. The egg undergoes degenerates. Okay, and at the same time, now this wall is not necessary. Baby is not forming here. So this much thick wall in the uterus is also not necessary. So the wall of the uterus will break down. Okay, this is a wall of blood vessels only. Okay, so this wall also will break down and it will come out in the form of blood and mucus through vagina. Okay, and this process itself we will call it as menstruation. Okay, in other language, in a simple language, we call it as periods. So this is what happens if an egg is not fertilized. Okay, if an egg doesn't meet a sperm, you know, the egg travels to the uterus, there it dies, it degenerates, and the wall of uterus will break down and it will come out in the form of blood and mucus. Okay, along with the degenerated egg. Okay, so let us try to write in a point wise. Every month, uterus prepares itself. Okay, that is the walls of uterus becomes thicker with blood vessels. Okay, if an egg is not fertilized, okay, egg degenerates, that means it will die in uterus, it will travel to the uterus and there it will undergo degeneration. Okay, and breaking of uterine walls takes place. Now it is not necessary, uterine walls also not necessary because the baby is not developing here. Okay, so breaking of uterine walls takes place, okay, takes place, and it will come out in the form of blood and mucus. Okay, this is called menstruation. Clear? And now actually it is a cycle of 28 days. Okay, if as long as the sperm doesn't come, the menstruation is a cycle of 28 days, keeps happening every month. Lots of changes happens in the female reproductive system in these 28 days. Clear? And now let us see what is that 28-day cycle under menstruation. Menstruation is a cycle. It is, you can continue the points here under the menstruation only. It is a cycle of 28 days. Okay. Say for example, in a 28 days, from 28 day, the middle day is 14th day. Okay. From 0 to 2 days, 2 or 3. Okay. For about 2 to 3 days, it is a phase of bleeding. Okay, phase of bleeding. Like I told you, the uterine wall will break up, the egg also degenerates, and it will come out in the form of blood and mucus through vagina. Okay, through vagina, and this is what we call it as phase of bleeding. That bleeding keeps happening for about 2 to 3 days. And after that, from 4th day till 13th day, what happens is, it continues. Again, one more egg, it starts maturing in the ovary and it travels into a fallopian tube. Okay, got to know? So that maturation of egg keeps happening in the ovary. There are certain what is that, hormones gets created. We know it is progesterone and estrogen. They are helpful for the egg to become mature. So that maturation of egg keeps happening, guys, here. So here what happens? 4th to 13th day, maturation of egg in the ovary. Already the eggs are matured, but the egg will get prepared itself to go into the fallopian tube. Okay, so maturation of egg in the ovaries occur. And exactly at the 14th day, what happens is, egg travels into oviduct. Okay, and this is what we will call it as ovulation. 14th day, what will happen? Ovulation occurs. What do you mean by ovulation? Whatever the mature egg is there, now it will go into the oviduct. Okay, so that 14th day we call it as ovulation. So after that, for about 2 to 3 days, 1 to 2 days, okay, 24 hours to 48 hours, it waits for the sperm to come and meet. Okay, it will stay in the fallopian tube for about 1 to 2 days. Okay, and after that, what happens is, like 27th to 28th day, in this period of time, after 14th day, 1 day it will wait. After that, remaining days are there. Now what happens is, the egg will go to the uterus, it will try to regenerate, and the wall of the uterus also will try to break up. When does the uterine wall becomes thicker? In this time, 4th to 14th day time is there, no, where the ovaries are starting to produce the egg. During that time itself, our uterine walls also will become thicker and thicker because it has to prepare for holding a baby. In case if fertilization occurs, the zygote will come to the uterus only, right, for its nourishment, for its growth. So for that, the uterus also should get prepared by thickening its walls with the blood vessels. Clear? So the thickening of uterine walls also occurs in this phase only. Okay, so in this phase only what happens? Uterine walls. One more thing happens here, that is uterine walls become thicker. Okay, so after that, at the 14th day, the egg will travel to the fallopian tube. It will wait for 1 or 2 days. If the sperm doesn't come, in this span of time, what happens? 27th to 28th day time, it starts dying in the uterus, that is, it undergoes degeneration, and slowly the breakage of uterine wall also occurs, and again the cycle continues. That means the phase of bleeding occurs. Okay, so this 28-day cycle continues in the woman as long as the sperm doesn't come into the fallopian tube. Okay, once during this particular time, 14th day or after the 14th day, in case, say it depends, exactly the 14th day ovulation doesn't occur. It depends on women to women. Some women ovulation occurs on 12th day, 10th day. It depends. Okay, so during ovulation or in that 1 or 2 days, if fertilization occurs, it leads to the pregnancy period. Okay, that means the baby starts growing in the uterus. In case if that doesn't occur, what happens? The wall of the uterus breaks and it leads to the menstruation. So this is what we call it as menstrual cycle normally. Clear? So this is all about the human reproduction. And in my next class, let us try to understand about reproductive health. Okay, and also about population control or family planning. So with this, I am completing my session. So the most important part that you have learned in today's class is about the placenta, the importance of placenta, and later what happens if egg is not fertilized. That means about menstruation. So these are the two important points to be remembered. Okay, so keep revising a concept. See you in the next class. If you like our video, please like, share and subscribe our channel to learn in an easier way. Thank you so much.